Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this leaking kitchen sink behind me. Now, I redid this sink like 5 years ago. It's an undermount. I ripped it out, I resealed it, and I put it back together. But to install an undermount sink, what you need to do is you need to take the drains off because you have a jig that will suck up the sink to the bottom of the countertop from the bottom. So it's been 5 years now. For whatever reason, this has started leaking, which is a fact of life. But that's why there's always going to be money in plumbing. So what I'm going to do now is I will we'll fill it up, and then we'll see where it's leaking from, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, really quickly, so this is called an undermount. An undermount comes up from the bottom. A drop-in will have a lip that sits on the top. So for an undermount, you need to have a rock type of countertop. You can't have a particle board because it'll just rot everything out. But we have a little bit of water in our sink, so what we'll do is we'll pop the drain. And then we're gonna take a look. And then that is where our leak is. So in this particular case here, what is leaking, it's the putty on the inside. So what we'll do is we're gonna take this whole thing apart. We will put new putty and then put it back together. And also, I used silicone here because this whole drain, I didn't do this drain section or anything. This was already here, but it was leaking here. And once again, when it comes to service, it's really tough to sell a customer a whole new drain when it wasn't leaking before and when it's not necessary. I mean, the material, just this material here, is probably now something like $60. So what we'll do now is tools and material. Alright guys, this is our material list. So I have a cup drain. This is a 6" by 1.5" brass tailpiece. This particular cup drain does have a tailpiece, but I'm pretty sure this will be too small. We have plumber's putty to reseal it on the inside. Guys, for this job, this is all you really need. Now, in this particular case, I don't know if I even need these two, but I bought them just in case I break something and I need to replace it. Otherwise, this is probably going to be the simplest job on the channel so far. So what I'll do now is a tools list. Alright guys, our tools list. So I bring my finishing kit on every job just in case I need something else. Really all I need in this case is just channel lock pliers. So what we'll do is we'll flip this out. This will be quick, but this is a fantastic video for you guys because you can do this on your own instead of spending $200. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is take out the nut. So this is why you bring an extra set of pliers, just in case you need it. Okay, that is not going to work. So what we'll do, and the whole thing is stuck together. Which means it was tightened down properly. Alright guys, so this is our cup drain. This is our tailpiece here. This is our slip adapter. It's the same thing with a bathroom sink. Alright, so the whole thing is taken apart. These are the bits of, this is putty, this is the old cardboard. you can actually see how it's been rusting here. So it was already leaking here for a little bit of time. But now this whole thing can slide up and down. Everything seems to be in all right shape. So just the putty has broken apart. You check the lip here, everything looks to be okay. I mean, for the most part, this looks like it'll be quick and simple. I think I'll actually be able to reuse this entire thing. It just needs to be cleaned off. But guys, always look around to see if you see any hairline cracks, because that is going to tell you that this thing needs to be replaced. But for the most part, everything here looks to be alright. So what I'm going to do now is I'll clean this off, I'll clean this off, and then I will re-putty it and then put it back in. Alright guys, so we're going to take a moment and I'll show you how this cup drain is designed. So this is the drain. You're going to put this part into the hole of the sink. And then what you have is a ring underneath. So as you tighten the ring on, it goes onto these threads like this. And then as you tighten the ring on, it's going to suck this into the sink and hold it in place. So what you need to do for this, some manufacturers will give you a rubber gasket. I personally prefer to use putty. The reason I prefer to use putty is because putty is so easy to take off. I mean, what you just saw was that this was a little bit tougher, but it's easy to break loose. If you use silicone, once it gets old, it can get brittle, and you can actually break it trying to take apart. But what we'll do is we will take our putty, and just like a a bathroom sink, what we're going to do is put it on. So guys, what I do is I always push it on so it holds in place. But putty is cheap. I mean, be liberal about it. And then just wipe away the excess. But putty can be good for, 50 years. That's what I've heard. Alright, so this is what we look like. Alright, we'll put it back inside. Oh, I gotta grab the nuts for the slip adapter. But guys, when you put your drain in, make sure that it's centered. If there's a logo or something like that, make sure that the logo is centered as well, just so it looks better. Alright guys, so the drain is back in. So the rubber ring is back on top of it as well. The cardboard has now broken apart, so we're not going to reuse it. And guys, once again, when you tighten this thing on, don't crank the living heck out of it, because as stuff gets old, they tend to break more easily. Alright guys, and then we have our ring for our slip adapter. So we'll do is slide this down as well. Alright guys, so this is our cup drain. And then you can see how it's starting to push out. But before I even bother to wipe this, because it'll keep pushing out, what we'll do is we'll fill the sink up. All right, that looks like enough water for decent test. So everything looks all right. Oh, the rubber is actually, it's not doing anything anymore. Alright guys, so this is the putty that is squeezing all the way around. So what we'll do is we'll just scrape it out. And then we'll take the rest with us. So guys, what I've just actually noticed in this particular case, how there's a gap here and it's tight over here. So what the problem here is, if we look at it from the side, this is actually on an angle like that, which is telling me I think this piece here is too long. How they did this was, I mean, you can see the glue coming down the side. Here it hasn't been wiped. So you guys see the run of glue. Really, for a finish, this looks terrible. And this makes sense why this thing started leaking. And then you can actually see here how the whole thing is on an angle, and that's why it was leaking here. So guys, in this case, if I was doing this as a service call, this cup drain and the tailpiece, I would replace it. The reason I would replace it is because I don't want a call back from somebody to come back and now I have to replace it anyway. It makes more sense just to put a brand new one. But this is my friend's place, so we can put the old one in, and if we have a problem, I already have the cup drain, I'll come back and install the new one. But since we're already here, guys, we have our carburetor here. This is our dishwasher. So we have our hot or cold. We have our bumper or hammer rester, our shutoff for the dishwasher. And then our dishwasher line here, they drilled it in the middle, but usually it's drilled up at the very top. But guys, for a dishwasher, what you need is the drain needs to come up and then gravity is supposed to bring it back in. So this is for the pump of the dishwasher to work properly. But other than that, I've tested it. Everything looks good. So we'll just finish up with our time and our material. Alright guys, and just like that, we are now all done. So the time on this job was under an hour. I'd say more like a half an hour. Really, to do all the filming and everything for you guys actually took longer than the job itself. The cost of this job, if I was to actually put in the cup drain and the new tailpiece, it was for me about $25. In this case, I just put it all back in. Like I said, if he has a problem, he'll call me and then I will actually I will replace it properly. I think the reason why I started leaking in this case is because the drain is stressing the cup drain itself. The way that it was piped, if you see glue dripping down your pipe and they couldn't even be bothered to wipe it, I mean, that already tells you that the care that they took on this job. So anyways, it's all done. This is a quick and easy fix, guys. This is something you can definitely do on your own with minimal tools. I do have the bigger channel locks. I brought it just in case, but usually a smaller pair will be more than enough. But guys, this is also why I bring in my finishing kit, just in case I run into a problem. I'm not going to run home to get any tools. So otherwise, guys, the job is done. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this is going to help you on your project. Guys, until next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.